Its signature aria is cheerful and blithe, of carefree moments and intoxicating joy, but the story draws on something of a more rancorous nature. On this week's Spotlight Music Series, we're happy to be joined by Leah Edwards and Dimitri Pitas of Holy City Arts and Lyric Opera, better known as Halo, with a special performance that is sure to hit a home run. It's good to see you both.
Nice to see you.
In the studio.
Yes.
So we've been doing this, we've been doing this over Skype for so long, but you certainly knew how to pivot during the quarantine. So first of all, did I describe the opera and the aria well?
Beautifully.
Did I hit on the right notes?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. You know, I don't consider myself an opera buff, but you've certainly made it very approachable for folks who have not seen opera. Tell us more about this upcoming performance.
Well, it's at the Joe, which we're really excited about. It's outdoors, which gives us as much safety as possible during these times. And it's going to be really exciting. We have classic car elements to it because you've got a space like the Joe, you might as well fill it with things. So we have these characters driving in some of these beautiful classic cars that we're really looking forward to showcasing as well. It's the production itself, we've updated it to the year 1986.
1986. Okay, now we're talking about La Traviata.
That's right.
All right, so what is the premise for this particular opera?
Well, if people have ever seen Moulin Rouge or Pretty Woman, it's sort of the downtrodden woman who falls in love with someone she shouldn't, and vice versa. They fall in love, and unfortunately, this man's father comes and says to the star Violetta, please leave my son alone, you're disgracing our family. And what we learn from the very beginning is that she is dying from consumption when it was written by Verdi at the time, and so it sort of goes through her fate and her lost love, their rekindled love, and
when was this first composed?
18, can't remember.
Okay, 18,
Sorry about that.
18 a long time ago.
Yes.
But how do you translate that age of an opera into something that happens in the 80s?
Well, you have to remember that consumption back then, tuberculosis, was an issue in society. A lot of people were dying from it.
A pandemic, as it were.
So we think that it's going to be very easy for the public today to relate to the storyline in 1986.
Well, and also, opera is about telling a story.
Right.
And so much of what we've discovered from our audiences in the last year is that their barriers vary, and it could be that they don't see opera because it's in a foreign language, or they don't go to opera because it's sung, or they go, and there are just all of these, really, everyone has a different reason why they don't go. And what we continue to try to share, and what we're trying to do as the basis of our mission with Halo, is tell everyone that it's just storytelling loudly and on sustained vowels.
Yeah, on sustained. Beautiful voices, just some of the most tremendous voices. And obviously it's going to be mic'd, I would imagine, if you're having it at the Joe, so there is no acoustic element to this. But that's also something that maybe people don't understand, is when you go to see an opera, these singers are not mic'd. This is their voice emanating through theater.
Yeah.
I think that's what has worked for us so beautifully in the last year is that, we've always kept distance, about 20 feet between us and our audiences, but with that distance, you can still see everything that we go through as we sing, and our faces and contortions and breathing and and watching the vocal production is really exciting, which isn't something that's necessarily, it's a technical aspect that we don't stress as the industry because we work so hard to I think, hide it when we're on a big stage.
Absolutely. And talking about making opera approachable for all, that it is an art form for all, this particular piano, let's just talk about this story here, because what you were doing during the pandemic is going around to neighborhoods, bringing opera to the masses rather than them coming to you. So remind everybody what you're doing out in the world.
Yeah, this piano at first was brought to us on a pickup truck by Fox Music House, and we gave a concert on our driveway. It was about 25 minutes long, and by the end of that, which was about 2 weeks into the lockdown, the entire group of people from the neighborhood were crying because of the connection that they were making with people finally. And so we literally took to the streets, we took to parks, we took to any place that you can fit a piano on a pickup truck. And so this Fran is the piano's name, and Fran has been to 130 concerts with us throughout the entire Low Country, and just engaging with the audiences, letting them know about what it is that we do, but letting them know also that it is approachable, just as you say. You know, we talk to people afterwards, they ask us questions, they tell us stories about how they were or were not into opera until this moment, and now they're going to go to opera again, which is the most exciting part about those concerts.
Absolutely. I think this piano probably has more mileage than any other piano that ever existed. You miles and miles and miles, and when you're hearing those responses from your audience and developing new audience, that is such an empowering and powerful thing. So to be the stewards of this art here in the Low Country, maybe you can share just how that makes you feel and what you hope to continue to see in the future.
Sure. It's very special.
Yeah.
So much of what we do is communicate, and without an audience, there's no one with whom to communicate.
Right.
And so when this is what we know how to do, is to engage with people through our art form and through all of the things that we've learned, all of the storytelling techniques that we have learned, and our personal experiences, and really making them, showing people that we are willing to bear ourselves and our stories, and welcoming them to experience that in whatever way they are willing to.
Absolutely.
So it's been, we've gotten everything from a gentleman called and said, we'd like a concert. Someone said, y'all sing opera in front of a pickup truck. Well, I'm good with the pickup truck, but I'll see how I feel about the opera.
And he loved it by the end.
Loved it,
right?
Absolutely.
We've been a repeat, we've had repeat concerts
That's
at his
amazing.
house.
So he's a repeat customer.
He's a repeat customer.
That's fantastic. That's wonderful. Well, how lucky are we that we don't have to go to Lincoln Center or some of these other art centers, that we have it right here in the Low Country, and we're going to have it right here after the break, because you are going to be performing for us. And which aria is this?
This is the aria, Sempre Libera.
I cannot wait. We're going to do that in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere.